Hey guys, welcome back to the DAHKTUBE, and before we get started, don't forget to like, share, comment and subscribe. Don't forget to comment in the section topics you want me to cover. So today we'll be doing transposing or transposition, which we also call changing the subject of the formula. Now all equations have two sides. We have the left hand side and we have the right hand side. So what the equation is saying is that the left hand side is equal to whatever is on the right hand side. So we're going to work a lot of examples with different types of changing the subject of the formula. So the first question we have is x plus 3 is equal to 8. And we want to make x the subject of this formula. So what we're going to do is put x in a box. X is on the left hand side. So x and plus 3 is on the left hand side. So what we're going to do is we want to keep x on the left hand side and we want to get the plus 3 to the right hand side. So because we have plus 3, we have to do the opposite of addition, which is subtraction. And anything you do on the left-hand side, you have to do on the right-hand side as well. So we have x plus 3 minus 3 is equal to 8 minus 3. Now this here, if you have 3 things and you take away 3 things, you're going to have 0. So that is the aim. You want to get this to cancel. So now we have x is equal to 8 minus 3, and 8 minus 3 is 5. So not in all cases you'll be able to actually solve something, which will get we have x minus 5 is equal to 2. And again, we want to make x the subject of this formula. We put x in a box, and we look what else is on the left-hand side. We have a minus 5. Now the opposite of minus 5 is plus 5. And anything you do to the left-hand side, you have to do to the right-hand side. So x minus 5 plus 5 is equal to 2 plus 5. So again, this here cancels. So we have x is equal to 2 plus 5, which is x is equal to 7. So let's say we have 5x is equal to 25 and we want to make x the subject of the formula. Now we realize on the left hand side here, it's saying 5 times x. Now we have to think of what is the opposite of multiplication, and we say division. So we want x by itself, so that means we're dividing by 5 on the left-hand side. And anything we do on the left-hand side, we do it on the right-hand side. So the 5's cancel. So we have x is equal to 5 into 25 goes 5 times. So now let's say we have x divided by 3 is equal to 5, and we want to make x the subject of the formula. We're dividing, so we have to think what is the opposite of division, which is multiplication. So that means we are multiplying this side by 3 in order to cancel this. That means we're multiplying the right-hand side also by 3. So now we're saying x is equal to 5 times 3. So x is equal to 15. So now we have 2x plus 5 is equal to 7. So the first thing you want to do, you want to put x in a box to know that you are keeping x where it is. So what you have to do addition and subtraction first, and then you do multiplication and division. So this, you have to get rid of this aspect first. So we have 2x is equal to 7 minus 5. Then we're dividing both sides by 2. So we know that 7 minus 5 is 2. So we have 2 over 2. Which is saying x is equal to 1. So now we have 5x minus 3 is equal to 7. Again, you put x in a box because we're keeping x where it is. Then we subtract or add first, so we look for this. So we have 5x is equal to 7 plus 3. So that's saying 5x is equal to 10. Because remember, if it is subtraction, once you carry it over the equal sign, it's now addition. Now we want x by itself, and we're multiplying, so we're dividing both sides by 5. So x is equal to 2. So these are examples of when you can actually solve for x. So let's try when we're not solving for anything, we're just simply transposing. Now this is the example for the formula for volume. So let's say we want to make W the subject. So first you'd look to see where W is. W is right here. So we'll put W in a box. Then you look to see what is happening around W. So W is being multiplied by L and W is being multiplied by H. So what you can do, the opposite of multiplication is division. So we can multiply by both L and H. So they would cancel each other. And anything you do on one side, you have to do it on the other side. So we have L times H here. So W is equal to V over L times H. So let's try this example where we have the simple interest formula. And let's say we want to make R the subject of the formula here. What we do first is we get rid of what is in the denominator, which is the 100. So that means we're multiplying both sides by 100. There were times in 100 on this side. So we have 100I is equal to P times R times T. Again, we want to make R the subject. So we are multiplying by P and T. So that means we are doing the opposite, which is dividing by P times T. So these would cancel here, and we'd have it on the left-hand side. So R, in turn, is equal to 100I over P times T. So the following questions, we're going to make W the subject of the formula. Now W is right here, so we're leaving it right there. So we look to see what else is on the side that W is on, which is plus 7M. So because it is plus 7M, that means we're subtracting it on both sides. So that means S minus 7M is equal to W. And that's the answer right there. So here, we want to make W the subject again. So W is right here, so we look to see what is there. So we have addition, so that means we're subtracting R on both sides. So we have P minus R is equal to 2W. We're going to be dividing by 2 because we're multiplying. So if we're dividing by 2 here, we're dividing by 2 on both sides. So W is equal to P minus R over 2. So we have D is equal to W minus R squared. So again, we want to make W the subject, and we have subtract R squared. So that means we're adding R squared to both sides. So D plus R squared is equal to W. We have H is equal to S minus MNW. Now we have to look where the W is. The W is right here. So first we have to get rid of this S here, which is a plus S. So we're subtracting S from both sides. So H minus S is equal to minus MNW. Remember, you have to keep the signs that are there. Now we want W, and we're multiplying, so that means we're dividing by minus MN on both sides. So these will cancel, and you have W is equal to H minus S over minus MN. So now, for the following, we're going to make T the subject of the formula. So T is right here, so that means we need to get rid of 3 in the denominator. So we're multiplying both sides by 3 times 3. So we have 3H is equal to 1T. What we do now is divide both sides by 1 to get rid of the 1. But we could have just said 3H is equal to T. And that would be a final answer. So now we have F is equal to 3/4 T. Again, we want to make T the subject. So we're multiplying both sides by 4 first to cancel what is in the denominator. So 4F is equal to 3T. And we want to make T the subject. We're multiplying here. That means we're dividing both sides by 3. So that means T is equal to 4 over 3F. Again, we're making T the subject of the formula, but remember we do addition and subtraction first, and then multiplication and division afterwards. So we have to get rid of this here first. So because we're adding, that means we're subtracting on both sides. So M minus W is equal to T over A. Now we have A in the denominator, so we're multiplying both sides by A to cancel A. So we have A times M minus W is equal to T. Now what you could have done, you could have expanded the bracket and said AM minus AW is equal to T. But we could have left it here. So now we have P is equal to a quarter in bracket T minus 6. Before you can solve what T is, you have to expand the bracket. So what is on the outside has to be multiplied by all of what is inside. So we have P is equal to a quarter T minus 6 over 4. Now we do this aspect first. So we have P plus 6 over 4 is equal to a quarter T. So now because we want to make T by itself, that means we're multiplying both sides by 4. So we have 4 times P plus 6 over 4 is equal to 1T, which is the same thing as saying T. Now we expand the bracket if we want to, so we could have 4P plus 6 is equal to T for your final answer. So now we have this here. Again, we get rid of the subtraction or addition first, so we have V plus 3 equal MT over N. Then we get rid of the denominator, multiplying both sides by N. So we have NV plus 3 is equal to MT. Then we want to make T the subject, so we're dividing both sides by M. The final answer is this right here. So here we get rid of the denominator first, so we're multiplying both sides by N. So we have Gn is equal to T minus 5. Get rid of the minus 5 on the right hand side, so that means we're adding 5 to both sides. And that's your final answer. So now we're going to do more complex subject of the formula. So here we want to make R the subject for this question. Again, we get rid of the plus or minus first, so we're removing these first. So because we're adding, that means we're subtracting to both sides. So we have S minus T is equal to R squared. Now we only want R, not R squared. So how we get R by itself, once it's squared, we have to find the square root. So what this means is R squared, and then we find the square root. But again, anything you do to the right hand side, you have to do to the left hand side. So we have S minus T. So when you find the square root of R squared, what that is saying is R squared to the half, and the 2's would cancel here. So what you'd have is R to the 1, which is the same thing as R. So now we have root S minus T is equal to R. So now we have this here. W is equal to 1/6 times R squared. So we need to get rid of the 6 in the denominator first, so we're multiplying both sides by 6. So we have 6W is equal to R squared. And again, once you see square, you find the square root. That means you're finding the square root of both sides. So we have root 6W is equal to R. So here, it is saying W is equal to R plus N, all squared. So first thing we have to do is find the square root of both sides to get rid of the squared, because the R is inside. So we have root W is equal to R plus N. Now we need to get rid of the plus N, so we're subtracting N from both sides. So we have root W minus N is equal to R. So let's say we have V is equal to R squared minus H over 5. Again, get rid of the denominator first. So multiplying both sides by 5. So 5V is equal to R squared minus H. Then we get rid of this here. So we have 5V plus H is equal to R squared. And again, we square root in both sides. So R is equal to 5V plus H. So now, when we have P is equal to NT plus 2T, and we want to make T the subject of the formula, what we have to do first is factorize what is common. So we factor out the T, and then we have n plus 2. So now that we can get t by itself, we're going to divide both sides by n plus 2. So t is equal to p over n plus 2. Again here we have two t's. So what we have to do again is factor out the t. So we have t here. We have r squared plus 2. So again we can get this by itself. So we're dividing both sides by r squared plus 2. So t is equal to c over r squared plus 2. Let's say we have this here. So what we're going to do is multiply both sides by 2 first. So we have 2r is equal to 3t plus wt. And again, we can factor out the t here. So you have 3 plus w. So now we can get t by itself. So we're dividing both sides by 3 plus w. So that means t is equal to 2r over 3 plus w. So now we have t in the numerator and t in the denominator. Again, get rid of the denominator, so we're multiplying both sides by t first. So the t's cancel here. So we have wt is equal to r squared minus t. Now we're going to group our like terms because we have t in both of these. So we have wt plus t is equal to r squared. Again, we factor out t here. So it's w plus 1. And because we can get t by itself, we're going to be dividing by w plus 1 on both sides. So t is equal to r squared over w plus 1. So that's it for today, guys. I hope you learned something. I'll see you guys next time.